All right, introducing statistics. What's it all about, or why do we have it? Well, it all starts with interesting things we want to know about a large group of people or things, and we call it the population. But the population is too big, so what we do is we start collecting some data called our sample, since the population is too big, and we use that to come up with conclusions about the whole population. Okay? Now, what does it require? Well, the thing is we have to come up with good random samples that are going to accurately reflect a sort of snapshot of the general population. Otherwise, it's not going to tell us much. Okay? So, here's how we do it. Here's 4 different ways to try to get a good sampling of the population that's going to represent, symbolize the population itself. Okay? One is called stratifying. So we have these levels or stratifiers, and we're going to pick a few from each group. So the example here would be, we got, let's say, a 4-year college. We have some freshmen, pick a few sophomores, a few juniors, a few seniors. Now we're sure we at least have spread our sample out over the 4 years of college, and their opinions are going to give us a good sampling of what the whole college would say. All right. Another one's a cluster, and we kind of pick a group that should be have some of everything in it. Okay. So let's say here at South Central, we're going to pick someone from our group of first-year experience class. Okay. Now that would work as long as our survey is about incoming freshmen. We want to know what they think of the college or something that applies to that grouping. But then we could pick one FYE class, and we could assume that that has a pretty good sampling. It's going to have people from different backgrounds. It's going to have some freshmen right out of college, some out of high school. It's going to have some other age groups, the people that have come back to college. And so amongst that group, it's a pretty good group of different types of people, and we could ask them some information from them, and it would give us a bigger scope of what all the freshmen are probably thinking. Okay, here's number 3. It's called a systematic approach for sampling. Okay, with this we use a mathematical algorithm, we call it, to select like every nth member of this population. What we could do at South Central would be to list all of our students alphabetically, and then pick every 15th student or every 20th, whatever, and take those people and then have them fill out the survey. That's pretty good random, because it's not going to pick all freshmen, it's not going to pick all men or all women or all of one type. We're pretty sure that we would get some of every type, and that group would represent the bigger picture of what all the people at South Central would look like on a smaller scale that we can work with and get questions answered. Finally, we have a convenience sample. Not always the best, but if we don't have time to do all this other stuff, we need to get some information. We could do something like this. We're curious about a new sci-fi movie that came out, and we want to get opinions. Is it good? Is it not? Is it one of the better ones? So we could wait till the movie's done, and as people are coming out, we could survey each of them and ask them to rank it or what they liked or didn't, have them fill out a survey, and we'd get some varying opinions. On the other hand, it's not everyone from the community that's being asked. It's only asking people that like sci-fi enough to have gone to the movie. So we're not getting a real good sampling, but we don't have time to go send an email to everyone in Faribault and ask them what they like or if they think they would go. At least we're getting a variety of opinions, okay? So let's see, remember these 4, because I'm going to have you quiz now. So take a look at these 4 again quickly, and let's see if you can remember which is which, okay? So let's read through the situations here. Number 1, Target asks customers to answer a quick survey on their way out of the store on, let's say, Friday and Saturday of shopping. Okay, think about that. Number 2, Pepsi hires the taste testers, and they pick every 25th can of Pepsi, taste it, make sure the carbonation's right and it tastes good. Okay. Third one, South Central takes students from a various age group, so they pick a few from 18 to 20 years old, some in the 20 to 25, some in the 26 to 20 to 30, and surveys them, a few from each group. And finally, South Central prints out a bunch of student IDs, and they're printed in numeric order, let's say, and then the students whose ID prints on page 3 get selected and they complete a survey. Okay, so which is which, you think? All right, the first one, the target was, it was a convenience. It's all going to be Target customers, so they already have a tendency to shop at Target, but they can ask them, do you like the way the shelves are set up, or what would you do different? So yeah, it's convenience because they're not going out and surveying, they're waiting for people to come to them. And again, but it would give them some information. How about number 2, Pepsi hiring taste testers every 25th? Okay, that would be the systematic. It's a algorithm. Every 25th, boom, boom, boom. They just check every 25th, and as long as that one's okay, they assume all the ones in between are good. And it's a pretty good way to do it. It works. How about part 3? We pick a few from this age group, the next age group. So we're making sure we're getting a few from each group. What are those groups or levels called? Yeah, stratospheres. So this is called a stratified. Yeah. And finally, we print out a bunch of student IDs, and then we pick one random page or couple and use that list, random list of student IDs from that group, and that obviously would be the cluster. Okay, good. So review those, and you got those down, you're good to go for this lesson.